Oh, hey, you guys still there? Sorry. All right. Well, hey, another morning, another DM chat. So, we'll make it quick. We're still doing 4E shit, but I want to talk about. This is, I guess, part 2 of our 4E monster conversion craziness. All right, so the Primordial Hydra. Damn these slicked out pages. Anyway, there's some cool shit in here like threatening reach. The Primordial Hydra makes an attack of opportunity against all enemies within reach. 4 fucking squares, 20 feet. That's awesome. That's awesome. Put that in there. That'll freak your players out if you want to chew them up. If you do that, though, you probably need to raise the challenge of it, at least one, because it's going to be real nasty. Let's see. What else do we got here? 9 good recharge powers. Not on that. But some things I was saying before. You can watch the other video, or not, whatever. But let's talk about how we would convert the coolness it is. Once again, I'm going to focus on there are multiple monsters of each type, which 5th edition is sorely lacking. Yeah, you can make your own, but this way, you just steal one of these powers and slap it on there. I mean, an easier way to do it is to find another monster in 5th edition, find an ability it's got, slap it on another monster. You take the flyby from the owl and put that on a dragon or any flying creature, things would get a whole lot nastier because they don't got to stop when they swoop by and take a chomp out of you. But we're not talking about that. We'll get into modifying monsters from 5th edition shit using 5th edition stuff later. Alright, so what we're going to do is a Radiant Burst. Oh, look at that. The Phoenix. That's kind of cool. Recharge power. Alright. Recharge power, we all know what that is. Let me explain it better if you don't. It's just like the Dragon's Breath. It's like 4+, 5+, 6+. Whatever the plus is, your D6 after you use it, the next round you got to see if it refreshes. You keep doing that. Well, how I would do it is, if you're going to add this stuff over, like a lot of the cool thing usually is like 4+. But in 4th, there's 6+ power, so it's rarer for it to pop back on, and 5+ and 4+. Hell, make some 3+ and 2+ if you want. It just gives your DM a chance, or gives your players a chance, get your monster a couple extra hits. That's cool. Always do some recharge power. Honestly, if you want to modify something to a recharge power, that's a good way to tweak down a 5th edition monster that's already there, that already has the powers without changing anything, turn one of her abilities, which is kind of badass, into a recharge power. And you can use it for lower level characters. Drop the CR a little bit, because they're not doing it all the time, you know. What else do we got? Pardon me, I need a drink of water. I already had my coffee. Doesn't look like it, but I'm a little more put together. Boy, his beard's messed up still, ain't it? Alright. Anyway. What I want to talk about this time, though, is the Bloodied mechanic. 5th edition, our 4th edition gave us the Bloodied mechanic. And the Bloodied mechanic is, you were bloodied when you're under 50% of your hit points. Why is that important? Because a lot of the creatures in 4th edition have a bloodied triggered power. So when they get bloodied, they get fucking crazier, or they get meaner, or they get nastier, it turns something on, or they do more damage. That's a cool thing to add into your 5th edition game. I mean, without doing much of anything, if you want to add a bloodied power to make something nastier, make the fight much more grim and cool, on an ogre even, just put, put a fury or a bloodied fury, make some shit up, and all you gotta do is say, as soon as they drop under half hit points, from then on any damage they do, does an extra 2 points. Simple, easy if you're using average damage, or an extra D4, or an extra D6. I mean, depending on how nasty you want to get. Or, maybe they're so enraged, they're like a barbarian at that point, and they take half damage from anything that's not magical. That's nasty as hell. Like some kind of death fury. That's awesome. Let me see. There's Orcs. That's something else I'm going to talk about. I think they have... Orcs in 4th, if I remember correctly, have an ability, when they die, they get one last final strike at you, which is horribly nasty. So you're in there, fight of your life, fighting 3 Orcs, and you drop them with some cool-ass maneuver or something within melee range. And as they go down, they swing back on you and drop your ass too. Orcs, 4th edition made orcs nasty bad boys. I mean, that whole thing in 5th for the extra charge, forward, run thing is badass. But basic orcs, boy, where the hell are they? Come on, E, get your shit together. Anyway, let me ramble on while I'm looking for these orcs. Ah, orcs. Alright. Orc Grumish, Orc Chieftain. Just need an orc. Just a regular old. Alright. Alright, here's the best part. Check this out. If you can see it. See this right here? That's 4 different kind of orcs. Wait. Oh, look. Here's 3 more advanced orcs. A Chieftain, a Blood Rager, and a Grumish. I mean, come on. They shoved so much stuff in here. But the Orc Drudge, pardon me. Alright, so he got nothing special about him. He's just a regular old orc. That's your regular old nothing. Except, he's one of the coolest things, 4th edition. We'll talk about that too. Minions. The fucking minion rule. Minions have 1 fucking hit point. Never take any damage, even on like a half damage on miss, half damage spell shit. They don't take that. They got 1 hit point. That's it. Other than that, they get the same speed, same AC, do the same fucking damage. So this lets you put piles of orcs at like piles of humanoids, piles of bad guys. This is how you get a guy fighting 100 dudes. You got 100 minis, or a horde of kobolds, or a horde of orcs, or a horde of fucking warriors, whatever. That's how you do it. Minions. Because minions let you fluff up the combat so it's cool. So they're just as deadly. They do just as much damage. They're just as hard to hit. But as soon as they're like paper targets, they go down. So it's like an action movie. It's like you know, Schwarzenegger rolling in there in Commando and just laying dudes down. Those are all minions. Then he fights the real guys one-on-one or does some shit. So what you do is pepper in 4 or 5 regular dudes in there with your minions. If you're using minis, don't make it blatantly clear to anybody else what they are, because then they're just going, oh, it's a minion, it's a minion. It loses the scare. But minions are awesome. Minions, put them in your game. I use them in 5th edition all the time. Why? You don't got to do nothing. And you know what? If you want to figure out what hit points are, cool. Whatever the regular one is, 1/10 of those. That's how many experience points you give them. That's what you do. I mean, they're just cool pop-up targets if you want to do that. I don't really like the experience point system in 5th, so I usually do the we level by tier kind of thing. It's just like, you know, well, you level when the story calls for it. But if you're hardcore in it, just divide the experience by 10%. You know, just give them 10% experience. Most of the time, I only give like 5 or 10 for each minion until depending on what level you are. No. So another good guide you can just do if you're using minions, it's 5 points each in the first tier of play, 10 points each in the second tier of play, 15 points each in third tier of play, that kind of thing. All right, anyway, so like we talked about Bloodied, we talked about Minion. I'm trying to see if this thing has hair. Where is that? I don't know if they have it. Well, Bloodied. Oh, healing weapon. Orc Berserker makes a melee attack against... This is cool. Healing weapon. If they hit, they get some hit points back. So they're beating the shit out of you, and they're healing up because they're, you know, being gifted by their god, or they believe it to be true, and that kind of shit. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I thought for sure there was a really cool orc that when he went down, he got one last shot. I guess not. Well, there isn't. There should be, because that's pretty badass. Let me look in the vault. Because here's the other thing. There's even more orcs in here, I think. Let's see what we got. Now, let's just make it clear. They do not give you something of every level for every monster. But yep, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 more orcs in here that are different than the ones in the monster manual. Alright, where are you at? Yep, here it is. The Savage Orc. Savage Demised. What triggers it? The Orc drops to 0 hit points. Effect, it's a free action. Orc takes a standard attack. Think about that. You got 3 dudes around you. You do some stupid ass spell. Boom! Ha! You're all dead. And they all get to swing on you. They're like, what? Oh yeah. The orcs do not go quietly. That is, you should add that into your game. It's cool for orcs. It's cool for any kind of brutish monster. It's cool for, a big, like dumber monsters, non-tactical monsters. It's more of their fury or their, it's a death blow, a last death knell as they swing back. They don't go quietly into that good night. Pretty much, that's what it is. But yeah, do that. Add that to your game. Add some bloodied stuff. Add some 0 hit point stuff. Like another cool one would be like, some kind of alchemist or some crazy wizard, like a goblin shaman or some shit like that. When you hit them, they got so much power built up, they explode. Do a burst. Do a burst, make it equivalent to a spell, or 1d4 for every hit dice of the monster. Boom! Make it fire. Make it energy. Make it whatever. Make it unholy. There's no limit. You're a dungeon master. You can do whatever the fuck you want to make a cool, interesting encounter. Now remember, anything you tweak and make it nastier, and your players come up with a way to beat it, reward them. Also, if you make it nastier, you got to give them a little more experience for the craziness. Yeah, it's going to be excitement. It's going to be thrills. But you still got to reward them experience-wise if you're going to do that, because it's not fair. It's not fair. You got to make it even keel across the board. But don't limit yourself, man, to regular monster stat blocks. Make your own monsters, make weird shit, change stuff. But the easiest way to do it is steal shit from other monsters in the edition you're in, and then after that, steal shit from monsters from a different edition. Steal the whole damn monster and convert it. Another thing we'll talk about is reskinning. Just reskin. You need a badass warrior that's going to be unstoppable and it's supposed to be one man and stands by himself against some like fourth, fifth level dudes. Cool. Use the stats of a frost giant. Make it look like a dude. Nobody's going to know the difference. Only you're going to know. And they're going to be like, holy shit, man, this guy hits like a brick shit house. I put 100 points into him. He's still standing. He's fucking pissed off. What the hell's going on? This guy's the baddest guy ever. Because it's just story. The story, the game that matters. The mechanics are behind the screen. That happens off camera. You take care of that shit. Just make sure you reward your players for doing it. And you will be rewarded in kind because they'll be like, oh my God, that was the craziest, baddest dude ever. How the fuck did you do that? You'd be like, hey man, that's what he was. He's a bad dude. Don't worry about it. When they're really scared and they go, oh my God, that guy was so... And you go, yeah. He was the little brother. Or you do stuff like, oh yeah, that was the lower chief. The fucking head honcho's coming, so you guys better figure it out. They will shit a brick, and that's exactly what you want. It's going to be awesome. Keep them on their toes. Because confident players are great, but overconfident players, we'll talk about that. You can lull them into it. Like the minion thing is cool, because especially if you're doing kobolds or something, and they're hitting for like 8 and shit, and they just drop them. Cool. They don't even think about the minion thing. And then you take that kobold, they reskinned as the hobgoblin chieftain, and you reskin him as a kobold, and he's in the middle of all this shit, and they lay in and hit him, and he's just like, ho, 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 and he goes to work on them. That's the fun way to do it, too. All right. That's what I got. So, remember, recap. Minions, you need them. If you need to learn about them, we can talk about it. Hit us up on the site or something, or just get you a 4th edition thing and see the rule. But the basic rule is, everything is exactly the same except for only 1 hit point. They don't take half damage on saves at all. Just ignore it. If they fail their save, they either take full damage or they don't take anything. And they reduce the experience. So, good guy, like I said, 5 for 1st tier, 10 for 2nd tier, 15 for 3rd tier. Do that. Make it easy. Throw minions at it. Bloodied. Look at Bloodied, under half hit points, have some triggered abilities. Even if it's just like, this dude takes 1 less damage from every time. Or, this dude does an extra damage, or does some really crazy shit. Or, automatically, another thing is like a Bloodied recharge, because like dragons and shit in 4th edition had that. I should have brought that up. they get under bloody, all their abilities you got to have that recharge ability, they automatically recharge. When under bloody, they're raging, they're ready to go, all their shit recharges. They can breathe again, they can do all their cool shit again, it's all back. That's a good way to do it too. That way you get one more good bang on these and everybody's like, oh my god! Which is perfect. And then, what else did we say? Oh yeah, and you want some of the death-triggered stuff, like as they die, they get one last swing, or they explode, or, you know, something happens. Everybody else around them heals, or they all get an extra attack. That's a cool one, like some kind of things like, you killed him, and then they all go, you know, you killed our brother, and then they all come at you. They all get a free action. They all get to move in. They get a free move. They get a free attack. They get, you know, that's awesome. Maybe when somebody gets more hurt, they get more defensive, so his AC goes up. It's like, my God, this guy's getting, the farther down he gets, the higher his AC gets, because he gets more defensive and protect himself, like a boxer or a UFC fighter. He's hurt, so he goes in defensive mode. That's cool. So, yeah, super simple there. Tweak your monsters, 4th edition style. We'll do it again. Have a good one, folks. Catch you next time. Another Breakfast with Champions. Until we meet again, my friends, keep doing it Deathcraft style. Finger guns for everyone! Yeah!